There is something very crazy going on with the UAP situation, and then came this weird fog situation, and after that we now have all the whistleblowers who are claiming that the government has been in contact with the aliens for all this time. And one guy named Jason Sand, who recently came out in Joe Rogans Podcast, he actually revealed a very bizarre thing, and this machine has the ability to like open up some sort of a portal, and inside that portal is where the aliens travel and then come through. And that's just crazy. And he says that he has seen those things with his own eyes and has worked on these facilities. And he says that the government is basically hiding these things from the public. Take a look at the stuff.
Another one that
I'm not even kidding.
Captivity.
Yo.
But
he actually says that some alien escaped from the captivity.
He actually convinced his interpreter or his interrogator to help him escape because the program was trying to get him to open a portal for them, and they wanted control of it. And the guy eventually, the interrogator actually pushed him into the portal and had surreptitiously given him back to his own home world.
I mean, I think this whole thing was already revealed by a few other UAP guys or the whistleblowers before. And it seems like the same kind of stories are being circulating again within these people. You know, all the whistleblowers that are actually coming out and giving us all this information about the aliens. I mean, this is like the footage that was shown in 2011, where it seems like they have some sort of a portal opening device where you can go through and come out of it. And that's what he even states.
During the accessing by the government of one of these naturally occurring stargates at Abydos Temple, Dan Burish.
International UFO Congress, 2011. This is what they're saying.
Thrust forward that stroller and pushed Kayla into this stargate, sending him home.
So it's like they're using these stargates in order to like open some sort of a portal. And once that portal opens, they just push themselves in. I don't know how this thing actually works, but it sounds ridiculous. And funny fact is that he also claims that these extraterrestrial beings that were actually captured by the United States government, and they're kept in some sort of an observation where they were being questioned about their existence and who they are. And Jason Sands actually says that the NHI, meaning the non-human intelligence, actually threatened to murder the American military personnel responsible for holding the UFO crash retrievals and alien biologics. So it seems like these aliens, they crashed their craft on Earth, and then there's this group called as the UFO Crash Retrieval Program. If they can find some of these parts that were crashed from the alien craft, and it seems like they're threatening us.
Go where the non-human intelligence gets brought up?
That was just like the two of them. When I picked up the call and started the recording on it, there was some guy that was there at Right Pat, and apparently he had been talking to this Eben. And he said, yeah.
I mean, Eben is the name of this alien that they, I don't know, maybe probably like some sort of a code name that they have for these aliens. Eben.
Day session, we got some more information you need to hear about. This is what is going to happen. You know, he says that there's going to be another meeting, and that if we don't return the equipment and the prisoners, there's going to be some bad things happen.
We have prisoners.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is what they said on the phone call, and the other guy's like,
"That's funny.
Well, hey, what if we can't get them, to return all the equipment and the people?" And the guy that had given the interview, he's like, "You don't want to do that." And the guy's like, "Well, why?" He said, "If you don't, they're going to be put to death." And I was
wow. Going to be put to death?
Stepped back for a minute, and I was like, what's going on here? So I had to finish out the call.
Can you be a little bit more clear, like who's going to be put to death?
Like the humans
that are responsible for keeping the tech that's not theirs, and also doing things to these extraterrestrials.
How did they?
Wait, doing things to these extraterrestrials? Does that mean like they were running some sort of experiments using these aliens? Some of the things that these guys have been saying, it's very bizarre, very hard to believe, but at the same time, so many different whistleblowers that are coming out and stating that they've seen this, they've done that stuff, and they've even been showing some video proof, footage and all that stuff, I mean, people who are skeptical, I don't think they're going to believe anything, no matter what you try to show them. But yeah, there is definitely some things that's happening around us that's really weird. And I don't think there's ever been any generation until now, or neither my parents or grandparents, nobody has ever seen a generation that's experiencing the kind of weird-ass shit that our generation is able to witness. This is for the very first time we are even getting to hear about all of these weird things.
They allegedly acquire this.
Retrievals.
Retrievals.
Yeah, when I was first introduced into the program, one of the very first things they asked me was, do you want to be part of the retrieval program?
Okay.
And I said, well, tell me about it. And when they said the things they said, I was like, no. Number one, it sounds gross. Number two, you probably can't give me enough PPE gear and hazmat gear to
Why would it sound gross, dude? Honestly, you would basically learn about the secrets to universe. Why would that sound gross? Be part of such a huge program. You can go retrieve UFOs.
Make me feel safe around these things. And no, I'm not interested in that. Thank you very much.
So how do they describe it that freaked you out that much? They're talking about biological
If I was him, I would definitely not
that are
refuse it.
retrieved along with the crash.
Yes.
Why do they crash if they're so fucking smart?
Exactly.
That's always the big question, right?
Well, I think
Look at this dude. He's like, oh, good question, Joe.
Question, right?
Look at that. Oh, yeah, good question,
I think
Joe.
the new guy on the block, Jake Barber, he's describing some of the ways that you can do this psionically. I guess his psionic team, he's going to start showing some of that to the world. That some of these craft are manned and piloted by consciousness.
Yeah, we have heard about
Apparently
that story.
They have a psionics team that can actually get in the headspace of these craft and cause them to land. So it's not really a forced landing. It's just kind of a mutual thing.
So here's the weird thing, right? Like the previous whistleblowers, Jake Barber and all of those guys, they've been saying that us humans, we have some sort of intelligence. Something is in our brains that allows us to concentrate, or some sort of meditation, which some people might call it as awakening the third eye. It means that you're going to be able to summon these spaceships or UFOs or whatever these entities are. I would like to consider them as angels or either fallen angels. We probably don't know what those are, but according to the Bible, this is what it states. It seems like some of us humans have this ability. I think the whistleblower also said that, people who are gay, women who are pregnant, or like children, these type of people, they have more tendency in order to be able to successfully summon these things. So I don't really understand how this stuff is related to you being gay. That's just weird. But yeah, it seems like if you are gay, after all, you have some special powers, supernatural powers, where you can summon UFOs. At least that's what these whistleblowers have been stating so far.
But wait a minute. The United States government has the ability to contact or interact with these craft and force them to land?
Yes, and then there's other ones that are done kinetically.
That's crazy.
Which is more the scary side of it, and the ugly side of the program is that
what is it?
What you've got here is it's not so much the military doing this, but the corporate people like Lockheed, Northrop, and all these other companies. They treat this stuff as very high value target kind of stuff, and it's very valuable for them to get the retrievals. So you've got really what amounts to a bunch of treasure hunters that are hired, mercenaries involved as well, that go out for these retrievals. And that's where Jake Barber comes in, is that he sees some of these people that are hired to come out and retrieve this stuff, and he's done that.
So the idea would be that the retrievals would be very valuable because you could back engineer the tech, figure out how it works, make weapon systems.
I mean, that dude is happy. I've got to say, this, I don't know about other guys. This dude, he seems real happy, man. He seems like a very happy soul, all right?
Works, make weapon systems, make superior crafts.
Exactly.
He's really loving all of those information that's coming up. So it seems like, they've been retrieving all of these crash items and they're re-engineering it, creating some new crazy technology. And that's probably what Israel and Americans have been, doing together. And these have always been like a covert operation that they worked with. Some things that they haven't really shared online or publicly with anyone outside. Not even the president knows about these things. So just imagine how crazy this stuff is. There's been this new phenomenon going on, which happens after 2,000 years, like for the very first time after all those years. I think this only happened during the time of Jesus Christ, which is probably 2,000 years ago. And apparently what happens is that 5 different planets, they align together in a straight line, one behind the other. And that kind of just creates this phenomenon where, the entire world can actually get to see all of these planets with even the most cheapest telescopes or even your mobile phone. But unfortunately, you can't see it from the United States. I don't know, for whatever reason. It seems like that side of the earth was unable to see the stuff. But in most of the Asian regions, you were actually able to see the stuff. I got to see the stuff when I was zooming in with an iPhone Pro camera. I mean, you can't really see it that clearly, but then you kind of get an idea of what it basically looks like. Now, recently, UFO Mania, they decided to record this footage where it seems like some sort of a spaceship is entering the atmosphere of Saturn. Just take a look at this stuff, man. It's crazy. You see that stuff? I don't know, whatever this is. Just look at my mouse and you'll see that there is something that's heading towards this planet right there. And this was captured using a telescope. Like the dude just keeps a camera into the telescope and then he starts recording it. Probably if you look look at it with a bare eye into the telescope, you probably could have seen much better detail, but this is crazy, man. Nobody knows what that is. It looks like a very tiny star. Could be some sort of an alien spaceship, or maybe this could also be us humans, you know, the CIA, FAA, running some sort of a covert operation that nobody knows about. The fun fact is that it actually heads very close to the planet, and then it just disappears. Look at that stuff. It either disappeared or it just flew super fast that we can't really see it. There was this weird footage that I actually came across where apparently some kind of an alien creature is actually dragging this fisherman into the water. Now just take a look at this stuff. It seems like a fisherman in Turkey was reportedly attacked by a mysterious humanoid creature at midnight. Witness describes an unusual being that is emerging from the water, and this was an alien, he says. Cryptid or something else entirely. So let's take a look at this footage over here. It's actually from one of the cameras that was located in that location. And it seems like he's just taking the net out, right? Nothing bad going on. And then suddenly something appears and it just starts pulling him inside the water. Look at this stuff. Look at that. We don't know what those are. Some black figures that's trying to pull him in. He's trying to hold on to the net right here. And he grabs those lights, right? I don't know what those lights are. It grabs those, it runs away. When it sees fire, it actually runs away. So it probably set a couple of fire here. So it can probably have some sort of a light around while he's fishing. And this happened at midnight. And look at that stuff. It's still right there. What could this shit be? You know, a lot of people are saying this could probably be some sort of demonic spirits, or this could be some of the Muslims, you know, they believe that there are these black demonic creatures called the Djinn, or you can also call it as the Jinn. And these are the kind of things that the Jinns basically do. They kind of try to harm you. And this footage actually looks like, you know, there are two different creatures that's kind of pulling him inside. Now, we don't know what this could be. This could be anything. We never really know, and apparently this was the footage that was shared online, and that actually looks pretty realistic to me. And do you guys remember about the Malaysian Airlines, the MH370s, which actually went missing? And before the flight went missing, we got a full-on footage of what really happened with this flight and what made this flight disappear. And just take a look at this footage, man. It's one of the craziest things that I've ever seen.
Airlines and watches the 3 UFOs that
you see, there's this one dot, right? Like a very tiny thing that just appears first, and then it splits into like 3 different orbs or whatever UAPs they are.
Come right around MH370 and zoom right here.
Another one comes in.
And here the third UFO comes in.
Another one comes in. It seems like they're splitting up. I don't know how that really formed. Like it was just one, and then it became 3 out of nowhere.
Watch as then, of course, using this etheric energy, the 0-point technologies, make the craft disappear. And so the United States government is responsible for this. Watch as the airline.
And then Trump says that, you know, these drones that are in the sky, it's actually being operated by the FAA. So does this mean that they are the ones, you know, doing this stuff? Because this definitely, it looks like some sort of UAPs or UFOs or whatever that is. That's the reason that this flight went missing.
Right here.
See, it keeps going. You can still see the plane.
This is an unbelievable video, and it's been
I think this is where it disappears, right? Boom. There you go. You actually see some sort of a flash over here. Some sort of a flash. It's not even blowing up, right? It's not even blowing up. It's like it kind of just teleported into some sort of a portal. And the plane was never retrieved. That's the backstory. I don't know how many of you guys know about this backstory, but then this plane, it basically disappeared in the sky. There was no radio signals found. There was nothing found. There was no crash retrievals, absolutely nothing. The plane just went missing. The passengers just went missing. Till this day, nobody knows what happened. It's not like it crashed somewhere in the middle of the sea. I mean, the flight was literally flying above the city line, which means that it was not the sea. So it's not like it just crashed into water and then they were not able to retrieve it. So this whole mystery
disappears, and that aircraft
It's just crazy. And NASA also shared a recent image which actually shows that there is some sort of a flying object that's flying around in Mars. And this was like the footage which was shared. I'll just remove my camera so you guys can see. Look at this stuff. It was shared by NASA. And here you can actually see this is basically how it looks without this UAP that's flying around. This thing happens at exactly at 9:28. That's crazy. What in the world is that? Nobody knows. There is literally no answer to this thing, man. If you actually go down to the NASA website, you'll actually see that there's also another footage. And here you can see there's also another weird thing that's flying around. We don't know what these things are. And apparently they say that these are footage from Mars. Now, obviously, we don't know how true that is. We don't know if these guys are lying or saying the truth. Could be all lies, you know. You never know what kind of, weird things these government dudes are usually after. And also another plane crashed recently in Philadelphia. And this right here is the footage. Now, if you look closely at the footage, you'll actually see that there is some sort of a pulse that's going off on this airplane or a jet or whatever that is. And that is basically what caused this jet to lose its motion and then crash down. Look at this stuff. That's crazy, man. That looks like someone just nuked the town. And this was captured in like the Fox News. If you look at it from slow motion, you'll actually see, look at this stuff. You'll actually see that there's some sort of sonic or some sort of pulse that goes off in this particular place. Look at that stuff. And that's when the whole thing crashes down. And this was actually captured on the Fox News. The plane crash seems to release some sort of a shock wave or pulse right before it crashes. Honestly, man, I have no idea why there is a lot of plane crashes happening out of nowhere right now. Because so many different planes are crashing. It just seems like, it's very risky in order to travel in planes right now. I'm already a person that really hates traveling in airplanes. I just hate the fact of these high altitudes. Because you start getting this ear pain or headaches and nose blocks and all that stuff. I absolutely hate it when my ears are like super affected because of traveling in flights. And now I have a new reason to never travel in flights again, because out of nowhere it seems like right now a lot of different planes are crashing, and it's not just in America, it's happening in all over the world. Like, I think in the past month we've at least seen about 6 to 7 airplane crashes. After all these years, we have never seen stuff like this happen, but then out of nowhere all the planes are crashing. There seems to be something very bizarre going on in our skies. This could be the UAPs or drones or the angelic beings or UFOs or whatever those things are that's currently in the sky. So as far as what these Trump administration and the government is basically trying to hide from us, it definitely does seem like as though there is more to this whole story than what we have been assuming. Because in another footage here, you can actually see that there is like footage right here of the same plane that we've seen previously. Take a look at this stuff. Now the plane just flies off, right? Which is captured right here. And then these orbs are spinning around, man. And as they are spinning around, you can see like they're creating this black smoke trail. So this means that there are some sort of engines. There's some sort of technology that's emitting heat. So you can see those heat signatures, and you can also see those trails that are being formed as they're just spinning around this airplane. Probably, they're trying to open some sort of a portal by just spinning around this airplane. We don't know what those shit are, but it's crazy that the airplane disappears and it never comes out. Could this mean that, these guys are trying something? Are they like abducting? If it's aliens, are they trying to abduct us humans and they're just hijacking our airplanes and trying to abduct? And when they're failing to hijack, oh my God, look at this stuff. Hold on. The plane just literally disappears at this point. And the way that it disappears, you can actually see like a flash. There's like a massive pulse that just comes up and then boom, the plane is gone. That's one of the most bizarre things that I've ever seen, honestly. Can't really believe that these things are happening and a lot of planes are going missing. What if it's the aliens that are trying to, abduct us and try to use this for some sort of research and stuff like that? So they're just hijacking the airplanes because it's much easier. So in order to do this, they are basically just abducting us in the sky rather than coming down, because this is much easier. They're just making us travel through portals. We never know what's even going on. Or this could also be in the hands of the government. Maybe those guys are hiding something from us. We never really know. Honestly, guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about everything that's going on right now? I would love to hear your opinions down below in the comments. It's going to be a very, very interesting topic. topic that we're going to be discussing in today's videos. I would love to read your comments and reply to as many of you guys as I possibly can. Now, with that being said, if you guys want to see more content like these on my channel every single day, make sure to go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, set your notification settings to all so that you guys can always stay updated with the content that I post every single day. Now, with that being said, if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, found it valuable or entertaining, or just passed your time on, make sure to go ahead, drop a like. It really helps the channel a lot more than you guys think. So your support is very much appreciated. And yeah, it seems like we're coming to end times, and the only thing that I would say is that it's finally time that we get good with God. So make sure that you're opening up your Bible and start giving more time to God and start building a good relationship with Christ. So that's the only thing that's going to save us. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.